Students, as I have finished the religious literary sources, now I am going to start with the religious writing in this part 2 of your chapter 2. Religious texts form a major source of ancient Indian history. Hindu religious texts like the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Ramayans, the Mahabharata, and the Buddhist texts like the Tripitakas are some of the ancient Indian religious texts. These texts gives us information about the religious beliefs, social system, custom and culture. For examples, like the Ramayana and Mahabharata highlight the traditional values and customs followed in ancient India. Ramayana and Mahabharata, with the help of the technology, today also you can see in the form of serial on TV. But earlier it was a written account only, and people have to read this to know about the culture and custom of ancient India. But you people are lucky to see, you are able to see it with the help of technology. You are able to see it on the television also. If you have not seen, try to see, give time to these serials, so you will be able to know more about the ancient India. Now come to the biographies and autobiographies. In medieval times, especially, many kings started to write their life stories or got them written. A biography. What is biography? A biography is the story written about a person by someone else, is known as biography. Means a story of a person is written by someone else is known as biography. Whereas an autobiography is the writing of the experience of the writer herself or himself. Means if a person is writing his or her life history by his own, then it will be called as autobiography. An example of this is the Mughal ruler Babur wrote an autobiography, Baburnama. Autobiography means Babur has written his life story by his own. So it is known as autobiography, and the name of the book was Baburnama, which is the story of his own life. Akbarnama is a biography of another Mughal ruler, Akbar. Biography. Akbarnama is a biography of the ruler Akbar. It was written by Abul Fazl, a historian in Akbar's court. It is written by someone else. Akbar's story is written by someone else. That was Abul Fazl, the historian of the Mughal court. So it is known as biography. Many such important texts tell us great deals about the rulers, the people, the kingdom, the battles they fought, the religions they followed, and many other things. Now you will see accounts of foreign travelers. Means those who came to India, stayed over here in India, and they observed the Indian system and they have written about India. That is known as accounts of foreign travelers. In ancient times, foreign travelers came to India and wrote about their experiences. The travel diary of the Chinese travelers, Fahian and Huan Ti Suang, they have written the information of India. Fahian wrote in detail about the times of the period which was known as the Golden Age of ancient India. Which period was known as Golden Age of ancient India? That was Gupta period. So you can say Fahian came to India during the Gupta period. Huan Ti Suang, described as the Prince of Pilgrims, he wrote a detailed account of India during the ruler Harshvardhana. The writing described the dresses of the people, the food they eat, the festivals they celebrate, and the monuments they were built. These all accounts were written by the Fahian and Huan Ti Suang when they came to India. Now come to why it is important to preserve the resources. All the historical sources. The sources of history are very important for understanding the life and times of the past and to know the story of human development. Therefore, the needs to be protect and preserve. Immovable sources like monuments, caves, immovable though the sources that could not move. So immovable sources like monuments, caves and other buildings are protected by the Archaeological Survey of India. And movable sources, those who can move from one place to another. Movable sources like artifacts are preserved in various museums. As you know, you have seen the museums. Government is used to of keeping all the important material or items there in museum to see to show it to the people. Every state has a museum which preserves the valuable historical evidences that historians and archaeologists have found over a period of time. Now we will see the archaeologists and historians. Archaeologists and historians play a vital role in making history interesting and informative for us. Archaeologists dig and restore artifacts from ancient ruins to structure the past. For this, they have to work on the sites of ancient ruins. They study history of the past through material remains like monuments, ruins of buildings, and artifacts like weapons, furniture, pottery, coins, and jewelry. So it can be said that they find out the physical evidences of history. Historians study the past methodically by use the evidences which archaeologists discover. Whatever the archaeologist has discovered, that was studied by the historians, like remains of artifacts, written account and buildings. Then they interpret or develop the picture of the past in logical manner. Their work help us to know about the lives of the people in the past. Both the archaeologists and the historians maintain record of their work so that it is helpful for the people in the present as well as for future generation to understand. Whatever we are studying about history, we are getting information from all these evidences, and these evidences are collected by the available by the archaeologists and studied by the historians. So we are able to know about our past. Future generation will also see all these things, and they will also know the human development. So this was your chapter, students. Shortly when you will receive the video, I will give you the picture of exercises and I will give you the question answers also. Thank you, class. Have a nice time.